Well, Madonna has spawned some of the most iconic images of the 80s and 90s, and her impact on the world of pop culture during those decades cannot be underestimated. She was a prolific image maker, our Madonna. She was photographed by the very best artists in the world, and her chameleon sensibility meant no two images were ever the same. Indeed, the average punter was often left asking the question, is that actually Madonna? Megs, do you remember that time you accidentally caught me trying on the conical bra?
Yes,
Well,
I do.
I've never asked you this because of that awkward embarrassment. Did I pull it off?
I don't think so, no. It didn't work.
When you showed your psychiatrist that photo, what did she say? Did she think I looked confident in it?
No, she had some concerns as well.
Oh, damn.
Mainly about the fashion, too.
Our friend Chad runs the massively successful Facebook group Madonna Vintage. G'day, Chad.
Good day.
So, Chad, you're going to run us through the top 5 Madonna photos that the world must see.
Yes.
Do you think, Chad, if she wanted to these days in the 2020s, could she still pull off or produce an iconic image if she actually put her heart and soul into it?
Absolutely. Why not? My picks did not come from any of the modern eras, as you can imagine, with running a page called Madonna Vintage. But I think she could. Why not?
She was definitely trying with God control, with the black wig and the glasses and the typewriter. She was really going for something there. But yeah, unfortunately, it didn't make a big splash on the whole culture. And so, yeah, it's a bit sad.
We're also going to insert some trivia into this conversation as well. And Megs, have you got some trivia to kick us off before we let Chad start taking us through some iconic images?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right, go on then.
All
Try
right.
to fool us.
So, what colour is Madonna believed by some speculators to hate? Supposedly, you can't find any pictures of her carrying or wearing this colour.
Ooh, I actually haven't heard that.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't actually believe it for a start because I'm sure I've seen Madonna with every single colour. In fact, she's probably had
Right.
colours invented for her, like the place I work at, we had a colour invented for us. I'm sure she's done the same.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
I'll probably be able to tell you if she's worn it or not, more than the color.
Yes. Well, yes. Well, I'll be able to explain as well once.
I'll have a guess.
Yeah, have a guess.
I'm going through every colour and I can pick a moment. I was about to say purple, but she came out when she did the tribute to Prince in that. Black, she's been in plenty of small black pretty dresses.
She loves black.
Loves black. White, I've seen her do the Disco Inferno in that. Yellow.
How are you doing this?
I'm sorry. I'm doing a flick book of Madonna in my mind. I've definitely seen her in canary yellow in that ridiculous film she made with that ridiculous man.
Could be green, but I've seen her in green.
Yeah, I've even seen a green montage of different photos of Madonna in different green. Go on, let's pull this answer apart, Chad.
All right. So I think it's a complete myth, but that supposedly she doesn't like the color orange.
It hasn't been since the early 80s that I've seen her in orange.
Yes. Now
I mean, I'd have to think really hard, but yeah.
Well, there's been some paparazzi photos of her when she was older, but they're all paparazzi wearing orange. But the only time she was formally in a photo shoot wearing orange was, in the 80s. She had a bandana and a shirt and stuff.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, we've got a whole audience of people who can try to disprove it, but I must admit I'm a little bit stumped. I'm thinking of all her tour outfits. Orange doesn't factor in. Kick us off, Chad. Which image are we going to look at first? Now, just for the audience sake, we haven't seen these photos up front. I've taken a good guess in my head about the type of images you're going to guess. So send us through an image. Okay.
I think this is one of probably the only one I've chosen that's truly an icon for her in her career.
I've got to say, you've sent through the most high-quality version of that photo I've ever been able to find. It's absolutely stunning when you look at it on this OLED screen and in the quality that Chad sent it through.
Yeah.
It's even, I know the image so well, but it looks even like it's a work of art. Actually, it's beautiful.
It truly is. Do we want to say what it is for those who can't see it?
It must be quite frustrating for the people not looking at
it. It is the Stephen Meisel cover photo from the Like a Virgin album, 1984.
It's interesting, Chad. The first thing that comes to mind for me is when I've seen this image before, isn't it in sepia, not black and white? Or am I wrong?
This. Are you seeing? Because there's a little bit of sepia on this copy.
Is there?
But it might not be as dramatic as what you're used to seeing. I've seen it both ways. It depends on the edition that you buy.
However, what this photo represents to me is Madonna, the artist, in terms of attention to detail. There is everything in this photo is manicured. Everything in this photo is thought through. There isn't a single aspect of it that either Madonna or the photographer hasn't
done on
put
accident.
A lot of thought into. Every single, I guarantee you, they've gone around every inch of this photo, even the wall, the cushions, the shadow is.
Belt.
I mean, that's what a photographer does. But yeah, take us through it, Chad. Why have you picked this one?
Oh, so I just feel that this particular photo, it sort of encapsulates that entire boy toy era and look. And it was really, I think, a more high visibility introduction to Madonna for the general public than her first album, which was a hit, but not like a phenomenon, right? Like this album was. So think of the millions of teenagers that had this in their room. And I just think that it's just the epitome of that street urchin, like boy toy, desperately seeking Susan, Like a Virgin Tour era Madonna.
All the looks that came before genuinely were born from she didn't have enough money. She just had to grab what was available. She literally, the look was constructed out of her life circumstances. This photo represents what she realized the public had latched onto, and she took it up a notch and was very deliberate. So from this point, from this photo onwards, everything about Madonna's career, image, look, music was deliberate and planned. No more organic Madonna. And that's not a negative thing. That's why she went on. But like, I just look at this photo and think, you know what? That's what all the girls had started to latch onto, and she was just sort of massaging the look she'd already curated before that. Amazing stuff. What do you reckon, Megs, when you look at that?
She was also playing on the Virgin Mary theme, and which was interesting, and people were very outraged that she was mixing that with the boy toy thing, so sort of mixing
religion.
Yes, religion with sexuality. And I love the big earrings that she's wearing too. Like they're massive. They're sort of ridiculous.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, I don't want to interrupt you, Megs, but I don't know if you guys know Liz Phair, the artist, but she was interviewed on VH1 like way back about this cover, and she called Madonna a bored debutante, like at her coming out party, and I just thought that was such a great description.
The Time to Talk Show is a podcast made by passionate amateurs who simply love pop culture. Unlike other podcasts, we can't raise revenue through traditional advertising, so we rely on the support of our listeners to keep us going. If you'd like to make a donation to Time to Talk, click on the link in the description. Your support will help with our production costs and allow us to keep bringing you content that celebrates, honours and skewers the very best and worst in the world of popular music, film, trends and culture. Thank you for enjoying our shows. We absolutely love our growing legion of loyal listeners. Megs, have you picked an image?
Yes, I have.
All right. Now, Chad was allowed to pick 5. You were only allowed to pick 1.
Yeah.
I don't know why those rules were made, but I think it was in order of people's importance.
Yeah. Oh, right. No. So there it is.
So why did you pick this one, Megs?
Well, I think it symbolizes her strength and her beauty, and that she's a performer. You know, she's got the microphone at her mouth. She's got the chair in front of her, so you know she's about to do a great dance routine, which is what she does.
The most powerful images of Madonna for me are always the ones where she is doing what she does best. So usually mid-performance, which is exactly what you've picked.
Yes.
Those shots usually embody all of her ambition, her confidence, her artistry. And she's not posing, she's doing. And I always like that because for me, Madonna is about work ethic almost in some ways.
She's very industrious.
And how prolific she is. So I love the fact that here she's aware that she's performing, but that one snap in time is not a posed deal.
Yeah, it's not posed. And she's the confidence, like you said, she's staring at the audience very boldly. And it does represent a lot of why I admire Madonna so much.
Absolutely.
And also the feminism obviously comes through very strongly too, in a lot of ways, just because her being that way, it's feminist message in itself.
And I don't know if you're conscious of this or not, but the arms and the body, like that is an athletic, almost masculine body.
Yeah.
So when you talk about strength, it's very interesting. You know, we could get very controversial into your psyche here about why you think this is a strong looking shot.
Yeah, well, she is very toned and fit because she's, you know, does all the dance routines that are so extreme. So yeah, it makes sense.
Really good pick, Meeks. Well done.
Thank you. Yes.
About to move on to the next image, but Chad, you've got a trivia question for us first.
I do. It's more of a trivia fact, but did you know that Madonna snorts salt water?
Really? Actually,
yes. Yeah, so, go ahead.
I think this is what Dad was trying to get us into.
This is going to be embarrassing.
Not for fun, but she does do it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. We were trying to get high.
If you've ever read her brother's tell-all book, it kind of opens with this dramatic moment of them on tour, I think for the Girly Show tour. And he said that they had adjoining suites in a hotel, and he woke up to the sound of her doing this. And it was like a ritual that she would do to kind of keep her nasal passages clear on tour. And so quite disgusting, but it's just a really cool, like nerdy thing that she would really like clear herself out when she's singing on tour every day. So
that's so cool.
I'm just grinning because every time children are sick, I rush them down because we're only 2 minutes from the ocean.
Yes.
And I try to convince them to snort the ocean.
Yeah, yeah. And
you can't do it.
No, I can't do it. We literally tried at the beach to block one nostril and then like to suck it. And you did it properly, but I couldn't do it.
It's very good for you. You have to do it.
No, but I hate the feeling of it.
Yeah, no. Well, it's nature's way. It's that or go to hospital.
I think I do that anyway when I go under a little bit.
Probably, yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow, thank you for that, Chad. What photo have you got for us?
This is my second pick, which is a picture of the other conical bra costume bodysuit from the Blonde Ambition tour. But this is from a photo spread in Harper's Bazaar magazine that was done by Jean-Baptiste Mondino. And he photographed all her tour costumes for the Blonde Ambition tour for that magazine. And I just remember when it came out, I can remember as a kid, like seeing it and just being blown away by the quality of these images. And I think this costume is my favorite costume of her of all time. And it's photographed so well in such detail here and the pose and everything is so powerful.
You can the quality of the image is such that you can zoom in and see the fabric, the zipper, and the level of detail in the actual costume. It's quite an incredible image.
Yeah, Jean-Paul Gaultier. I mean, I always wonder, like, I'd even love to just speak with someone that worked on these clothes with him for that tour. I mean, just to have worked on them and fabricated them and just worked on that project. How incredible. I'm totally fanning out, but those costumes are my favorite of all time.
Yeah, amazing. It looks like she was almost going through the routine from Like a Virgin too, in a way, because that pose is quite reminiscent of that. She's got something in her fingers as well.
Yeah, it's like a brass knuckles where you can like punch someone with it.
Yeah.
But it's jewelry. It's, a high fashion version, but I always found that interesting. It's like an element of danger.
That she's feisty and aggressive or something.
Yeah.
Certainly in control. Wow. A beautiful image and beautiful photography too. Again, just amazing. So powerful.
Hello, this is Albie Madonna on Twitter. I'm from Los Angeles, and this is my favorite Madonna iconic photo. Everyone knows this photo, but to me it represents feminism, sexuality, and rebel heartism everything that Madonna represents. It's the photo from the Sex Book, originally creative directed by Fabienne Baron and shot by Steven Meisel. But this is with Madonna hitchhiking nude with her lovely tits out on the Miami streets with a beautiful handbag in her hand and some heels. What else does a girl need? This photo is just iconic in every sense. It's raw, it's beautiful, and it just shocks to the point where it shook the world to say women can be sexual and they don't have to be under the thumb of men.
Megs is going to try and stump us again. He's going to try and follow up from that orange extravaganza he gave us before.
Yeah, I got you guys before with that one.
Did.
Yeah, nobody.
You did.
So this one is Madonna was supposedly fired from a New York City Dunkin' Donuts after doing what on her first day?
Didn't she like squirt the jelly that's supposed to go in the donut? She like squirted it on somebody.
Yeah, she squirted it in a customer's face.
I'll stop it.
Apparently,
She did
who was being
That
annoying.
story comes from Madonna, no doubt about it.
Well, yeah, probably.
She
I don't
really
know.
reinvents her history. That's too convenient.
I
that
think I
story.
remember her telling this in an interview.
Have you guys ever seen the made-for-TV movie called Madonna Innocence Lost?
No.
It's definitely check it out. It's extremely interesting, but it takes place during this whole era, and it has her like in the donut shop, being very Madonna-like. And it stars a woman called Terumi Matthews, who played Madonna in it, and it's definitely like kind of strange and dated at this point, but worth checking out, and just reminded me of that.
Chad, what have you got on the photo agenda for us next?
It is a photo that was done by Steven Meisel for Italian Vogue and then used in several different things. I think this photo was also used in like an Entertainment Weekly spread on that same photo shoot in the US. But it's actually probably one of for a long time, it was my favorite photo of her.
That's the power of a fantastic photographer, to bring out something that you haven't seen in their personality before, because there's a vulnerability and a strength in that photo at the same time.
Definitely. And it's very Italian, like bombshell, you know.
Yeah, it's incredible. I just love that photograph so
Love
much.
the eyebrows.
You could make a whole movie about Madonna's eyebrows.
But I would also like to say, and this is probably going to really annoy people, but it reminds me a bit of Lady Gaga, this image. I'm sorry.
No!
I'm sorry.
Where's Albie?
I'm sorry. It does.
My heart.
Tell us why.
Well,
You mean Lady Gaga reminds you of this photo because it came first?
well, let's do that. I'm happy to switch it around like that, actually.
I think what you said, Megs, is so true about her being so inspired by Madonna. And I think she has a fear that will eclipse her own identity. So she doesn't want to admit it.
Yeah.
And that always bothered me.
They did do that sort of teasing at it with that comedy thing that they did, where they wrestled around and they were like, I have more hits
Right.
than you. I'm more popular.
SNL.
I'm younger. Yeah, the SNL thing. But I enjoyed watching them wrestle like that. It was funny.
I bet you did. But it repeats in your dreams.
No,
Okay.
not in that way.
Chad, give us
Yes.
another one.
We're in 1991 now, which is only the next year from the previous two. So you can tell what era I'm really kind of into. But this one, which I think you probably guessed that I was going to pick, is a promotional photo for the movie Truth or Dare.
Was this on the front of Rolling Stone at any stage?
No, it wasn't on the front of Rolling Stone, but it was used for like a ton of things. A ton of like I think it was in an official calendar. It was issued as like a press photo, so it was in all the newspapers and in a bunch of magazines. There was an unofficial VHS that had it as a cover, so it's been definitely a heavily used photo.
I like this photo very much. It's the playful side of Madonna. It's the cheeky side. It's the mischievous side. It's the brat. I can see on her arms, we're going through the photos, so I don't care if this sounds wrong to mention, but she's got that dark Italian hair coming through in spades.
Yeah.
She does. This is an unairbrushed, I believe, version of the photo. But what I love so much about this photo is actually it was funny because I chose all the photos first and then I compared them, and in a lot of them she's kind of looking to her right. And in this particular photo, she's looking dead straight at the camera. She's relating to the camera, and she is fully embodying her talent at relating to a camera, which I think she is um, enormously skilled at. But it's very interesting, like when you compare her acting to like her photography or music videos, because there's clearly a line there that where it's um, she's so extremely adept at being photogenic and playing
Yeah.
to a camera, but then when you add personality and speaking and character on top of it, it's like a whole nother thing, right?
Well, yeah, and I guess, like you say, like the photography is sort of a form of acting, so it's interesting that she can do one and not the other so much. But I guess she's so image driven, like as part of her musical career, that like
Right.
photography would just need to naturally follow from that as something she's really amazing at. And can I also say about this image, just to go back to the image, her teeth look so good in it because the red contrasted with her white teeth, like
Yeah.
the red of her lip.
Yeah.
They just look so good. So just
I think it's a very iconic photo. You have the trademark beauty mark. I think this was like the last time she wore it, because this is 1991,
Oh.
and that's the year she stopped wearing the beauty mark.
Of course, she moved from the fake beauty mark to the gold tooth era, which I'm sure we're going to head into in a moment, but not before we have some more trivia
Yay.
from my co-host with the mostest. Is that how they say it?
Well, let's just leave it there.
Okay.
Okay. What phobia does she reportedly suffer from?
Kylie's coat hangers, and I don't think she has a phobia of hydrangeas, even though she hates them. Chad?
I'm not sure. You've stumped me again.
Yes.
It's either like heights or claustrophobia would be my guesses, but those just off the top of my head.
Can I just say that if she was being particularly honest, aging would be the biggest phobia in Madonna's life,
There you go.
Well, true.
and mortality. But nonetheless, what's the official answer that you're about to hit us with?
Well, first of all, I don't know this for certain, and you notice with every one of my questions I put in like reportedly or supposedly, because she's actually quite mysterious in her private life in a lot of ways, because she sort of lives in her public life a lot more and that sort of thing. But apparently she has brontophobia, which is an abnormal and persistent fear of thunder and lightning. So
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Never heard of that.
This is a lady
Or
who
if I did, I forgot it.
she would have flown through some storms in her time too, like literally on planes, because this is a traveling person.
well, apparently since she was a little girl, she hated massive thunderstorms.
Yeah. Nice trivia, Megs. Well done.
Thank you, but I hope it's just not a fan-generated idea.
We'll soon find out. Believe me, there are plenty of angry people at their keyboards right now typing
True.
messages in between that stupid Australian man.
Hi, everybody. This is David from the United States, and this is my view on the most important Madonna photo to me. And the Madonna photo that means the most to me is probably when I became a true fan, and this photo still resonates with me over 3 decades later. I was still a young kid, and I remember buying the Like a Prayer CD and opening it to find such a stunning photo of Madonna praying with her rosary. Her skin flawless, her dark hair cascading over her shoulders, and a longing, desperate gaze overshadowing her beautiful face. Looking back, I felt Madonna was going back to her roots and wanted to be taken seriously as an artist and not just a happy-go-lucky pop star. I look back on this picture with great fondness, knowing Madonna has always had a strong faith and puts her trust in God. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, I couldn't leave out a dark-haired moment. So I'm hitting
it's gonna
send
be
on the
black
photo
and
now,
isn't it?
and
That's the one.
This-
I just knew this
this
was
one-
coming up.
yeah, it just always struck me and drew me, and it's the only one I chose from Herbert's. Now I've talked about this a little bit about like Herbert's is but far and away like the fan favorite photographer, but he's never really been mine. This photo being an exception though. It's a gorgeous photo from Like a Prayer with her hands, praying. And this photo was used on the cover of the single for Like a Prayer and also on an official poster at the time. So
I do remember many comments around Like a Prayer video and these sorts of photo shoots that were released as promotion about how beautiful she looked, because it's a very organic look. It's stripped back for Madonna. It's just, she's all woman.
Yes, except for those rings, all of those rings. And I know this isn't how she looked in the O Father video clip, but it really makes me think of O Father because it's the same sort of time. And she's sort of reflective a little bit in this photo, maybe, which is very obviously reflective in the lyrics.
Hands
of O
in
Father.
prayer, almost.
Hands in prayer, yeah. And the black and white, and sort of looks like she's in a forest with the trees behind her or whatever that is. So it really...
Cemetery.
Oh, yes. Yeah, right. And so it really makes me think of that video clip.
This is more of a trivia fact, again, than a trivia question. But did you know that the Bedtime Story music video was inspired by all-female surrealist painters?
No.
You're telling me Picasso wasn't an inspiration for that?
No. And I hope I'm pronouncing them all correctly because I only know Frida Kahlo, but Leonora Carrington and Remedios Varo are two female surrealist painters. So talk about girl power and throwing it up to the feminine energies. She really did that in this video. So a quote from her says that there's one shot where my hands are up in the air and stars are spinning around me, and me flying through the hallway with my hair trailing behind me, the birds flying out of my open robe. All of those were an homage to female surrealist painters. There's a little bit of Frida Kahlo in there as well.
Chad's got one more trivia.
Yeah, and I can phrase this one more as a question. So so the question is, was the hair in Barcelona on the Blonde Ambition tour, what was the cause of that? Because if you know about this date on the Blonde Ambition tour, the hair was like totally out of control. It was like really big, totally different from every other date on the tour. And fans go wild with speculation.
Okay.
So,
all right. So let me.
What do you guys think was the reason?
So on the Blonde Ambition tour, where she always famously came out with the ponytail or the curls, and in this scenario that Chad is painting in Barcelona, she came out and it was like a mad afro by the sound of it. And the question is, why is it so? Was she chased by a bull just before she went on stage?
Well, there is a popular theory online, so I don't know if you've heard it or not.
Well, I reckon it was an industrial fan.
Nope.
Just before she went up.
I don't know. I just don't know what the answer
Maybe
is.
Well, everyone.
Yeah.
I have heard this so many times I can't even tell you, but everyone's all the fans that know it all or whatever say, oh well, there was a lot of humidity right in Spain, so when she did the Barcelona date, the humidity got to her hair and it just took the curls that we knew and just made them like this wild, like almost
frizzy thing.
Curl afro. Totally not true though. I'm dispelling that. Anyway, fans all think it's from humidity, but in reality, her hairdresser Joanne Gare, who Mama Makeup from Truth or Dare, she confirmed online that this was just an experiment. They were trying a few different things because she was leading up to that big HBO special right at the end of the tour, and it was just another experiment that they did. Just do something a little bigger.
I want to see it now because I don't really know. I don't have a proper image of it.
Just Google Madonna Blonde Ambition Tour Barcelona and you'll see.
Wow.
All right.
Wow. An experiment gone wrong. She's had a few experiments gone wrong. First of all, there's the Barcelona hair, and then there was Swept Away.
Right.
So let's round us off here, Chad. This has been really fun. We go back to that original question. There are so many iconic images. Fascinatingly, or possibly not surprisingly, all of your picks and Meg's come from a certain window of time in her career. Can she have the same impact moving forward?
Like, she's not, I don't know. It's the landscape has changed so much. There's different younger stars. There's TikTok, the social media, music thing. And I don't know. She sort of tried with Madam X, but it was sort of almost esoteric just for the fans type thing. Like you say, Dad, like it's sort of like the fans are like, look at how she's evolved and this is what she's doing now. It's a new era.
Mhm.
But the whole world isn't looking at it anymore.
And my opinion
No.
is very much that she could, but I don't think she can. In the sense of, I think it's herself that stops her. If you look at Tina Turner, her most iconic images are from her 50s and 60s because she embraced her age. She did something completely different, and she created a style that I reckon in most people think of Tina Turner. They don't think of those young years with the straight black hair. They think of the Tina Turner with the massive mane of hair, the short skirts, the killer legs. And that was when she was in her 50s and 60s. Madonna is in a fight against age. And so therefore, if she can't embrace where she's at in life, like she did with the images we've just explored, she can't create iconography anymore. She can't.
Right. You guys make some incredible points there. And the eternal optimist in me would say that she still could, but will she? I don't think she will. And I think it's for all the reasons that you guys just named.
Chad, where can people find more of your fantastic information and images that you sort of archive so beautifully?
Well, just go to facebook.com/Madonna Vintage or @Madonna Vintage on Twitter.
And there'll be a link in the description. Chad, it's been so fun. Thank you so much.
It's an honor. I love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
It was great.